Did you know commercial leasing have a fixed term of at least 5 years to 3 months? They do not contain termination clauses. They are structured this way to eliminate the risk of controlled tenancies. Welcome to a learning lesson right here in Street Biashara with me, Brenda Nyamichaba. And as you can see, I'm back on the streets of Nairobi because I'm about to find out what Kenyans know about commercial leasing.
Leasing is like you can give someone your property on agreement. They use it even for like 10 years. And you agree once for the payment. So it's not like renting. Renting is like, I believe you pay after a month or a very short period of time. But when you are leasing your property to someone, it's like they are going to use it for even 10 years or even 20 years or even 100 years. But you agree on the amount that they are going to pay once. So even if they pay it once or if they pay it in installments, the agreement is done once for a longer period of time and then they go use it.
Commercial?
Leasing.
Leasing?
Yes.
So it's a building or a structure that is being rented for a business.
You see, you have to explain to me the commercial thing so that I know what, I don't know what.
It's a term we come across when it comes to buildings in town, a lot of these buildings that are built. What do you think commercial leasing means?
Commercializing, I'm a commercialist.
Commercial leasing.
But there it's something, I don't know.
I think commercial leasing ni una lease place, unalipa mahali, utakuwa unalipa kama monthly, ufanye biashara. Lakini ujenunua hapo, umelease.
Sawa, asante sana.
Si pako.
Commercial leasing.
Yes.
So when a business leases an office space or industrial space.
Okay.
Commercial leasing mostly is a duration whereby, but it has been construed to mean two different things. Number one, we have people that take advantage of commercial leasing and make it like what they call goodwill in the city. But essentially it's supposed to be a certain duration. A business person is supposed to occupy a certain premises, paying a certain amount of rent.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful.
But it's not supposed to be like what they are doing in town. You told that you're getting commercial leasing. Somebody wants you to occupy that premises for a period of time, pay some goodwill, and then after 1 year, which is 12 months, they come back again and renew the commercial lease, which is totally not ethical and not good at all.
Commercial leasing ni kama buildings kama za biashara, kama huku CBD. Hizi nyumba kubwa, you can lease, yani una condition. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, when I got the chance to go on the streets of Nairobi and get to see what you understand with the term commercial lease, I got some hilarious answers and some smart answers. But now it's time for us to break it down for you and get to know what exactly this term means. And joining me today on Street Biashara is David Kinga, who's an investment analyst from Saiton. He's going to help us break down this particular term. Now, David, I just want to get to understand what is a commercial lease, because I feel like we hear about it a lot, but people don't really know what it means.
So for commercial lease, we separate from a rent, a landlord and a tenant relationship where rent is being paid. Because when you come to commercial lease, it's whereby you obtain a space from a landlord, a space from a developer, or a space from the leaser that you want to use for commercial purposes. It's not for residential purposes. So when you come to commercial lease, you're obtaining a space from a property owner, from a leaser for commercial purposes. So definitely that's the difference.
Okay, and what are the different types of commercial lease and how do they work?
So the first one that we have, we call it the absolute net lease, whereby it is mostly happens when we have commercial buildings or commercial business. Like you say, a commercial institution like a commercial bank want to obtain the entire 3 floors of a building. So in that space, they obtain all costs, apart from the space, because there are different costs that are involved in commercial lease. One is the space that is being occupied, that is charged in square feet. Number 2 is any taxes or excesses that come in that particular property. Of course, there will be maintenance, there will be things like taxes on that particular unit, there will be rents for that particular unit. So the particular leaser or the person who is obtaining this particular building pays all liability to that particular building. It's like the landlord transfers the entire property to the person who is obtaining it. So in this particular case, the main difference is the person who is leasing this particular unit or this particular building pay some small amount of rent because they are able to take up all other costs that attains to maintenance of that particular building. Yes. Okay. Then you have another net that we call the absolute or the triple net lease is whereby the excesses of this particular building that one has obtained, excesses would mean like things like or maintenance of the unit, things like taxes of that particular unit, things like rent rates of that particular unit. They are not given to the person who is updating this particular building. So they remain with the property owner. So that's basically the main difference.
Okay, thank you for allowing us to know the different commercial leases that are out there. What are some of the basics one should know when leasing a commercial space to start up a business, you know, in terms of duration and termination?
So definitely, before you look into going to agreement and signing a lease, definitely you need to present it to a lawyer who can really advise on the terms and conditions of that particular lease. Because obtaining a building for you to do commercial business is not an issue. The issue comes on the exit clause. So it is very important once you sign into a lease, you present it to a lawyer who can go through clause by clause and understand what are the costs that will come with exiting this particular space. Because I'll give, for example, there are tenants that will tell you that when you exit this particular unit before the end of the contract, you need to pay them the rent arrears for the period that you're going not to be in that particular unit, so which might be very costly. The others would say when the contract ends, you need to pay us 1 quarter in advance for us to give you an exit permission, so or else they will retain the property that you put in that building. The others that will say, once you want to exit my property, make sure you demolish everything structural that you brought into that particular unit. That will include even partitioning. So then others will tell you, you don't bring in someone else to pick your property or the office that you had obtained. You have to give it back to the owner, then the owner will lease it to someone else. And of course, some partitionings you would never want to even demolish. You can give someone else and come and repaint with their specific brand and they move on. So there are those specific that you need to take them through a lawyer to understand before you sign it.
Okay, thank you so much for that information. I personally understand it even more than I thought I did. That was commercial lease explanation right there, and it brings us to the end of this episode of Street Biashara. But please join us for the next one because we have insightful information for you.